So, who are you? Where did you come from? Why are you even here? And these questions that we think about, but we answer them very, very vaguely. But today I really want to address this issue of identity. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? Where did I come from? And so far, the most reliable source of information that I've gotten is the Bible. And when I come to read Genesis chapter 1, it states that in the beginning, like when things began, that time, that particular time called the beginning, God was present. So everything originates from God. He is the source of everything. He created everything. And if you go down and read that account, slowly by slowly, you will understand that God is a master creator, because he creates the ground first, and then he creates the vegetation first, and then he creates the man later. You see, very systematic, very well planned, very well thought out. It is not like something that just fell, some random atomic particles that just collided with each other and then suddenly man existed. No, it was very, very strategic. I mean, that theory of random particles hitting one another and uh, developing into things is absurd. If a shirt like the one I'm wearing, very simple, it doesn't have a digestive system, it doesn't have lungs, it doesn't have eyes, it can't even speak, you know. And for it to exist, someone was very, very strategic, went and got cotton somewhere, made it up into a cloth. The cloth was then colored. Another one made measurements, put them together. And you want to tell me something as simple as a shirt took all that effort, took all that strategy, yet a human being existing was just out of the blue? No, it was very well planned, very, very strategic, and it had a purpose. You see, if you read the book of Jeremiah, the first chapter, see, it says, God is talking to Jeremiah, and God is telling Jeremiah that I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. You see, that is a very deep statement, because it actually says that we existed before we became zygotes, before we became babies, before we were formed, we already existed. So this physical form is just a manifestation of a form that existed earlier, the spiritual form, the breath of God that was blown into the shell that he had created out of mud. He breathed his life inside there. And then man, started existing. And you see, if you keep on reading Jeremiah, you will find that it says that, and I anointed you to be my prophet. You know, not only were you created before you existed, not only did you exist before you were created, sorry, but your purpose already existed. Like you just didn't come here to just exist. You came here for a very particular job. God has already anointed you for what you are meant to do. It is inside of you. And so it beats logic for us to compete against one another, because we are all made for different purposes. It beats logic for us to feel like, you know what, they're ahead of me in life, they're behind me in life. You know, it is completely insignificant to even put those thoughts in your head, because it doesn't make any sense to God. Everyone is in their own lane, everyone is in their own purpose, everyone is following their own destiny. And it is that simple. So it is good that we understand that we are not here by chance. God orchestrated our existence even before we existed. He planned our lives out. He planned what we were going to do. He gave it to us, and now because he has predetermined that purpose before, the way he creates you, the way he puts you, the way you look, the physique, the mental abilities, the physical abilities, he gives them to you according to the purpose that you're going to pursue. So it doesn't make any sense for us to compare ourselves against one another, to compete against one another. In actual sense, we should be doing the opposite, complementing one another, because we are all part of a big plan that none of us really understands apart from God. But we can play our own individual roles so that the bigger puzzle will come together. But if we compete against one another, me trying to be an architect, well, I was meant to be a preacher. It is like a monkey trying to swim and a fish trying to jump from one tree to another. It is painstaking. It is frustrating. And probably, if you're frustrated in life, if you cannot seem to find a footing, if you cannot seem to know where you're going or your direction, maybe you should just pause for a minute and ask yourself, what is my purpose? And very many things about yourself will answer that question, because you just need to look at the things that you are very good at doing, the things that you do that are almost flawless. I'm not saying that you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be the architect that you want, but you're going to find that for you, drawing these things is so much easier. For you, calculating how much a building is going to take does not stress you as much as it stresses a person who was meant to be a preacher. Like, tell me about a building and tell me about how to calculate stones and how many stones are going to be here. My mind is going to blow. But that is just because that is not my purpose. If you look at yourself, the things that come so naturally to you, and you realize them, and you start appreciating them, and you start loving them, and you start developing them, I am telling you, in a very, very short time, you're going to start seeing results. You're going to start seeing your life taking a whole different direction. So my point is, in these few minutes that I have, is to actually tell you that you are not here by accident. You're not here by chance. You are here for a very, very specific purpose. And if you're not fulfilling that purpose, someone is suffering because of your inactivity, because of you holding back, because of you being afraid to step into what you believe that you can do. So today, be courageous. Step into your purpose. It doesn't matter how stupid it's going to look. Everything looks stupid initially. Even when you're starting to build a house, it doesn't look like it's going to be a house. When the Chinese were building the roads in Kenya, they would demolish a whole place and you would think these guys have come to build a circus here. But give it a few months, man, the road comes out and you are so shocked, such that you start feeling stupid yourself for actually not trusting that they were going to bring up a road. So it is up to you and me to find out what our purpose is and to develop it and to trust that God will be there to provide. That God will make way, like God will make it happen, because it is His purpose. He's not created you to fail. He's created you to prosper. Like a good manufacturer makes a good product such that it can go to the market and it can get a good name and it can get more clients on that product. That is exactly what God is. He manufactured us to thrive, not to survive. So if you're surviving, know that you're shortchanging yourself. If you're not happy with what you're doing, you should know that you're shortchanging yourself. And it is time to start looking in the right direction. Don't think about money. Don't think about people's validation. People will talk about you whether you think they're not talking about, whether you think they're talking about you or not. Whether you do what they say or what you think they expect you should do or not, they're still gonna talk ill about you. So leave them alone and focus. Focus on your purpose. Deep down, you know, you don't even need anyone to come tell you. Deep down, you know it, and you know what you are meant to do. We all do. It's just that we are so afraid. But from today, I want to challenge you to start looking in the right direction and start looking in the direction of your purpose. You're anointed for a purpose. You're not just meant to come here, pay bills, just surviving from day to day, hand to mouth. No, you're meant to be happy. You're meant to thrive. You're meant to go out there and shake the world. We should know you. And I commission you in Jesus' name. God bless you.